All right, so welcome back to another episode of The Locker Room, where we invite our young adults here to chit chat with us in the locker room about various of topics. So today we have Zion Brown with us, and we are excited. We have been doing a Black History Month series, and today we wanted him to come in and give us some additional information on the things that he has learned, the things that he's researched, and to just share with you all some of the situations that we face as Black people when it comes to activism. Let me try to remember. Protesting, and it's another one.
Civil disobedience.
Civil disobedience, yes. So those will be the three main topics we will be focusing on today. And I'll be asking Zion a series of questions that he'll be able to answer for you all. And if you all have questions, don't be shy to leave some comments. And he'll also include his social media handles so you all can reach him directly. So, you want to introduce yourself, give them a little bit of background, tell them who you are and where you're from, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Zion Brown. I'm 15 years old. I'm an African American young man. I attend Saving Grace Christian Academy. And this is really that's where I got really all this knowledge from, because I don't think in most schools you get to learn as much about Black history and all of what happened back then. But I do, and I'm so glad that I can be here today to share this information with you all.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to begin our series of questions for Zion, and we're going to begin with protesting, which is the first on our list. So my first question for you is, how has protest shaped the progress of Black communities?
All right, so in my opinion, our community in general, not just the coloreds and whites and Mexicans and Asians, everybody in general has come so far throughout the years thanks to protesting. Protesting has always been such a powerful tool for change. Okay. Throughout the years, protesting has pushed for equal rights, voting access. It has also forced policies to change, shifting the cultural norms, and that is just so incredible to think about, because we have come so far. I can guarantee you that if Martin Luther King could see where we are right now, that he would be proud to see how much change and how much the community has developed over the years.
I agree. I like that answer. My second question for you is, how did young people influence major protest movements?
All right, so young people honestly played such a big role in those types of movements, because they weren't always allowed to do the things that adults were allowed to do.
Right.
So the fact that they were able to make a name for themselves and make their voices be heard is just honestly so mind-boggling to me. And the only reason that they were able to do things like that is because they put together groups like the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which was founded by Ella Baker, that's her name.
Cool.
It was founded...
I didn't know that.
Yes, and it was founded to empower young people and show them how to use their voice. And it was mainly for the children down in Deep South, where everything was really going on, but they were taught to peacefully get their message across. And they did so many different types of movements and stuff, like sit-ins, marches, protests, and their energy and their courage brought so much attention to the injustices that were happening.
I like that. You teaching me a lot. I'm over here intrigued, because I didn't even learn this much at my school, so I should have went to your school. My next question is, what makes a protest effective versus ignored?
All right, so great question, but then also I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know the difference between a protest and a riot?
In my opinion, I feel like a protest is more calm. whereas a riot is more of looting and stealing and loud and probably more fatalities. That would be my opinion in when it comes to one versus the other. But man, I'm sure you'll be able to school me if I'm incorrect. So you let me know.
No, your definition was so great. Protests were more peaceful and organized. Riots were just outright wrong. They just was so much violence. They were
a lot of
damaging.
outrage.
So much outrage. So when you're organizing a protest, you really have to get great. You have to make sure your message is clear. Also, you have to make sure that everyone is on the same page, because when you're doing a protest, you have a set goal and a set message. I would hate for anyone to be trying to protest for something and someone in that protest is protesting because some injustice happened to their family. So they're really protesting off of rage. That's so bad, because then that could turn into an argument, then that can turn into a riot. Then what happens? Nothing happens.
Nothing gets solved.
No message gets across. You lose your message in that fire that you're throwing.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I feel like I've seen both take place. More protesting on TV, but I've seen riots actually in person. Still TV, but like early on news coverage. And I think I understand how the riots take place. You know, sometimes I feel like people just get fed up and they don't have the time to organize and put something strategic together. But I do feel like the way you explained it does make sense on doing it more peacefully to actually get your point across versus being ignored. Yes. So my last question for this segment is, how did media coverage impact public opinion?
All right, so media coverage in total is just, it's come so far. Like the internet and social media has come so far, and nowadays your messages and our protests and our activism it can go literally worldwide.
Okay, yeah,
due
I
to
can see
like
that.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
Facebook.
Exactly. Like your message could be spread to millions in minutes. Like even around in 2020, like 2021, when the hashtag Black Lives Matter, when George Floyd was killed, when that went out, so many people heard about him. I heard about him and I didn't even know. So that the fact that that small message and that little hashtag got to everyone and his name was known,
Powerful.
and his story was justified, is just literally like so amazing to me.
Great. That was a good answer. I like that. So we're going to move into activism. You ready? I got about 4 questions for that too.
Okay.
All right. Oh, when it comes to activism, this is going to be one that I need a lot more information on because I don't know too much. I've heard about it. But my first question is, how have churches, music, and culture supported Black activism?
All right. So, as a church boy myself, to know that like churches helped in those types of movements was just so crazy. Like Martin Luther King, he was a preacher himself, and he gave so many different like messages in churches to broaden his audience to different groups of people to like help get the message across. And culture, I am so proud to be a part of this colored and brown skinned community, because when I tell you there is so many good things that come with being a colored and brown boy.
Absolutely.
Like our hair textures, the music we listen to, the way we dress, the way we're shaped, the way our teeth are shaped, the way we act. Like it is just all so beautiful and so amazing, and I'm honestly just so grateful to be colored.
I love that. So let's rewind just a smidge so we can kind of maybe help me and the listeners. What do you consider when you think of activism or activist? Who would you consider an activist?
I would consider, honestly, anyone activist. No matter how old and no matter how young you are, you can be an activist. An activist is someone who doesn't just think about changing the world. It is someone who actually does something about changing the world.
Ooh, a word. A
So
word.
anyone could be an activist.
Okay, cool. I wanted to kind of clarify that because I was a little confused. My next question is, what lessons can today's activists learn from past movements that have taken place?
Organization, and I cannot say this enough. Planning and organization is such a big part of activism and like protesting and that types of stuff. So you have to be a leader. You really have to know how to be a leader and how to plan things. So nowadays we go out into the streets and we hold our signs up, we rah and we do this and that, but there's so many different ways we can do it as well. So we can do it through social media, we can speak at different types of events, we can do it through our music,
Maybe voting.
which is like kind of crazy. So when you think about it, it's just all really in organization and planning. That's a really big takeaway that we can take from
How they did it in the past.
Exactly.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What risks did activists face, and why did they keep going, even knowing that there were crazy risks involved?
Because I think that they believe that it was worth the risk, and that inequality need to be like gone. It needed
Gotcha.
to be justified. So getting arrested, getting beat, like honestly, all of that, it was worth it. And I'm so grateful that they did, because I can go to school with different races and white people. I can use the same bathrooms, the same water fountains. I can vote. There's so many different things that I can do because they took the risk.
Right.
And now that inspires me to take risks and do different things.
So basically, they felt like, regardless of the risk, this is something that we believe in. This is something that we're going to do anyway. Got you. So my last question for this segment is, how did women alone shape and lead major protest movements?
All right, so this is probably like one of my favorite questions. Women are the when I tell you women were the backbone of the civil rights movement, it's literally insane. Even when they didn't go notice, they were still fighting with their head held high.
Gotcha.
And they had it 10 times harder than colored men did, because they were women. And when I tell you over the years how that has progressed, it's so great to see. So people like Rosa Parks, Ella Baker, Josephine Baker, Maya
I don't know, Maya.
who was it? Maya Angelou. That's
Okay,
her name.
I didn't know if that's the one you wanted to go
Lord.
with. I didn't know if
Don't
that's...
get on me.
Okay.
But Maya Angelou and there's so many varieties of women in different categories that have done so
Absolutely.
many things.
Absolutely.
And they did it regardless of what anybody said. Whether they were going to get recognized for it or not, they still did it with their head held high.
I like that. I like that. All right, so we're going to go to our last segment. Are you ready? Of course you're ready. You came prepared. You
Yeah.
All right, so civil disobedience. We're going to first start off by asking, what is civil disobedience? Because like I said, I ain't really, learned too much like you did. Privileged. So let us know what civil disobedience is before we go into our questions.
All right, so civil disobedience is when you deliberately disobey the law to prove that it's wrong without getting violence. For instance, like sit-ins or the Montgomery bus boycott, where they just sat on the buses when they weren't allowed to, doing things that you're not allowed to show how wrong it is, but doing it peacefully without so much violence.
Okay, that was a nice, clear answer. That made a lot of sense. I'm sure that helped the listeners as well. All right, first question is, what role did nonviolent civil disobedience play in the civil rights movement?
Non-violent civil disobedience was literally like the heart of the movement. Martin Luther believed that we shouldn't be violent. Like, he literally led a march where there was no guns, no fighting, no nothing. They literally walked, where I would at least think that we could walk around, but they didn't like that. He believed that he held sit-ins, he led marches and protests, but they were all non-violent. They were all planned and organized, like we've said before, and they had a clear message and they got it across, because look at us now.
Got you. Makes sense. I agree. My next question is, why were leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks willing to risk arrest for justice?
Once again, like I said before, they believed that inequality was wrong. They believed that we all should have the same rights, and we all should be able to sit at the same tables and ride the same buses. So getting arrested was just a minor thing. It wasn't as major as what they believed in. They wanted to light a flame,
right,
that they knew, that they probably didn't even know that will probably last so long, but they lit that flame, and we've carried it so far throughout the years.
Absolutely.
And it has taught me so much. Like, I honestly believe that I can do anything.
That's good.
Because what he's done, like, that is just so inspirational. So it is just crazy.
So do you feel like seeing what he did and the fact that he did it so far back helped you not have fear and wanting to tackle the things that you want to tackle when it comes to anything in life?
Yes, of course, especially because as a colored person, things are much harder for us. So I want to go where we are not.
Absolutely.
I want to break down the barriers where no one else has gone.
Got you.
Like, I just want to push past everything, every expectation, every standard, everything.
Yes.
I just want to be the best that I can be.
Yes, I like that. So, how do you feel this far? You gave us so much information that I'm sure not only me, but our listeners are going to be like, wow, this boy is 15 years old. Where did he get all of this from? How do he know all of this? Why is he so intrigued with this type of knowledge? You know, most 15-year-olds are playing video games and, you know, eating snacks and, you know, just a regular degular. But the fact that you're so invested in the culture and activism and all of these things, how do you feel about that?
I feel very proud to think that they're looking down on me, just seeing all the accomplishments I'm making and that I'm going to make, because it is just crazy, honestly, because
I forgot what you wanted to say.
No, I just had a little, very little brain moment.
I could crop it out.
It's okay.
What you was gonna say?
What was the question?
I was saying, how does learning all of this and obtaining all this knowledge made you feel? How do you feel?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, I feel so great knowing that people fought for me. Fought for me to have a chance to do something. And I'm so grateful and so blessed just to know what they did for me, honestly. And now I want to fight for my children. I want to use my voice, use my platforms to just make sure everything is right for everybody.
Absolutely.
Every color, every race, every gender,
every woman, every man. But no, that was great. And I feel like everything you have taught us today was super powerful. And we are honored to have you here. We can't wait for you to come back. This was a amazing session when it comes to activism, when it comes to protesting and civil disobedience. Did I say that right? Okay, cool. Clock it. When it comes to all three of those, we have learned a lot, and we're grateful to have you here on our show. We are going to close up, but I want you to let the people know where they can reach you at.
Alright, so you can follow me on Instagram at PrinceLionB3. You can also find me serving at Word of Grace Worship Center every single Sunday. That's where I sing, that's where I worship, and that's where I praise the Lord. So
Amen.
That's where you can find me. Hallelujah.
I like that.
Another thing I just want y'all to take with y'all is do your research and study.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, do not believe everything you hear. Because that's what I did, and I love to be loud, and then I was loud and wrong. Ooh. And I looked stupid, and I wouldn't want anybody to look like that. So
learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. Mm-hmm. We come from greatness. Stand on that. Know what you know. Study.
He said it, not me. So, I feel like we could just end it right there. We're going to go ahead and just end it right there. Once again, we are happy that you are watching us today. We are here with the great Zion Brown, and we're so happy to have you here, and we will see you all on the next episode.